another story in Fort Frances, Ontario, when a driver tries to push aside a group of round dancers. We warn you, there is some strong language in this video. A peaceful flash mob of round dancers were temporarily blocking an intersection in Fort Frances when one driver began pushing them aside. A woman demonstrating was lightly injured. Police confirmed the incident is under investigation.
Holy shit! I cannot believe that!
In Quebec, members of a Mohawk community of Ganasatake wanted to show their support to action. Their community has a special connection to Aboriginal activism, and as Danielle Rochette reports, the minds of many Mohawks marching were
in your mind today. It's not about using your fist, it's about using love, respect.
At the tobacco burning ceremony this morning, Mohawk Elder John Cree addressed the people at the burial ground under the pines in the heart of Ganasatake. The violent conflict between First Nation and the Canadian government on the same site almost 23 years ago is still on many minds as the people march down the infamous hill to the village of Oka.
I learned from the Oka crisis that whatever the government says, you can't count on it. You can't believe anything they say because they have no honor, they have no respect for anything. They made a lot of promises, and have you seen a change in Oka? No, it's the same.
Grand Chief Serge Simon took part in the march and wanted to show that they still stand for their rights, despite the backlash of the Oka crisis.
We've been paying for the Oka crisis since it happened. Ganasatake has borne the brunt of, I think, a lot of revenge policy and into political interference that has cost us a lot socially, economically. So we're still paying the price for 1990. Make no mistake about that. So this is one step that we're going to show that it doesn't matter. We're still here and we're still going to fight.
According to Valérie Gabriel, the fact that only 30 Mohawk people participated in the march has something to do with the Oka crisis.
Because of what Ganasatake faced in the 1990s, I think people are, they don't want to see it happen again. I think in the back of their minds they're a little fearful of it coming down to having the SQ and the army point their guns at the people again.
But in Ganasatake, a new generation has grown up and is convinced that it lies in their hands to do something about their future and the future of their children. Danielle Rochette, APTN National News, Ganasatake, Quebec.
And in the Mohawk community of Tyendinaga today, both the CP and CN rail lines were shut down. APTN's Kenneth Jackson was the only journalist allowed behind the blockade. He files this report.
I'm about 2 kilometers in the bush on Mohawk Tyendinaga territory. Behind me are about a dozen members of the community who have chosen to shut down these rail lines, CN and CP, also via rail. They did so around 1:30 today, and they did so because they're doing a solidarity with all the other protests and rallies happening across the country. They say that they're going to be here for a little bit longer. Sun's going down. The fires are going behind me. They don't want to be seen. They don't want us to get close to them. They don't want us to shoot their faces or anything, and if media come by, and the media has come by, but they've been shooed away. The protesters block their face. They're worried about potential charges down the road or what have you. This isn't about really them. It's about the statement they're trying to make by shutting down these rail lines to show, I guess, the federal government, Prime Minister Stephen Harper, that they have the ability, that they are in control, and they want change. You know, CN police, or CP police came here. They walked down the tracks. It was right around 3 o'clock, and they showed up, and you know, they were quite friendly. They just wanted to kind of ask how many people were here. Didn't ask them if they needed anything, but it was almost kind of that attitude, like they're there to just kind of help them and with their safety and their concern. The protesters, they were friendly back and they said, we're here for now. We don't know when we're leaving. I don't expect this to last much longer. I would assume after dark it's going to kind of die down. And they vowed that they could pop up again anytime. I'm Kenneth Jackson for APTN. Now back to you.
In Fredericton, New Brunswick, demonstrators went to the home of the province's Lieutenant Governor. They asked him to pass along their letter to the Queen. Demonstrators have often called for action by the Crown in England throughout the Idlenomore movement. In Toronto, the message of Idlenomore was delivered to the UK consulate. APTN's Delaney Windigo was there.
Dozens of demonstrators made their way down Bay Street, the heart of Canada's financial district. But it's not the bank they're after, it's the British consulate. People sang and beat their drums, while others stood in solidarity.
Those responsible for legislation, oppressive policies, and all those other things, and the reason why we're standing up and saying no more.
This rally is more than just symbolic, because people believe the key to moving forward with a nation-to-nation relationship required the Queen's involvement.
The Queen and her representatives need to be at the table, as with the Prime Minister Harper and our leaders, our grassroots leaders from the treaties. That's the only way we're going to move forward.
People here say the treaties have been violated for far too long, and they say this movement isn't going anywhere until change happens.
Canada belongs to an international community, and we want that international community to pressure the Canadian government to have real negotiations and to honor the treaties.
Consulate officials weren't on hand for the peaceful demonstration, but that didn't stop these demonstrators from getting their message across. Delaney Windigo, APTN National News, Toronto.